Do not let the title of this blog post throw you off. You are not going to be turning your boyfriend into anything. Whether he becomes your husband or not is not a result of your will or some sort of imposition on your part. It has to be, of course, voluntary. Instead, the title should get you thinking of whether you are ready for the next step with your boyfriend. If you are a typical American woman, you are going to have at least several boyfriends throughout your life. A lot of these boyfriends would seem like the right person at certain points in your life. It turns out later that if you had tied the knot with him, it would have ended up in a disaster. As they say, hindsight is 20/20. This is why it is very important, especially for Aquarius women, to be aware of the 7 signs that their boyfriend is the right person to marry. Again, I cannot reiterate it enough. Just because you have a boyfriend does not necessarily mean that you should marry him. You probably already know this, but many people get so caught up into their relationship, especially in the beginning when they imagine things that are not there, and they become blind to the things that are there. I hope you get my point. If you are an Aquarius and you want to pick the right person to marry, you have to be aware of some signs that the person is right for you. Make no mistake about it. Even if you get divorced later on, your decision to marry somebody will have a tremendous impact in your life. Even if you do not have kids when you get divorced, it can leave emotional scars. Marriage is not something you can treat lightly. It is not something you get in and out of quickly. You might think that it is convenient to get divorced, but it is actually not. It does not just impact your future relationships, but it also impacts how you look at yourself, so be very careful. Here are the 7 signs that your boyfriend is the right person to marry. Sign number 1: you stop comparing him to an ex. If you are able to do this, this means that this person makes you comfortable. This person puts you at ease. At the very least, this person makes you feel so comfortable that you no longer have to measure him against your ex-boyfriend. This would be a tremendous breakthrough for any Aquarius male or female. Why? You are constantly comparing your relationships to previous relationships. It is some sort of mental habit with you. You just cannot help but do it. If you met somebody that can help you break that habit, then you should pay attention. This might be the one. Sign number 2: you started to accept your relationship based on its own strengths. If you stop comparing your current partner with your ex-partner, then you are definitely on the right road. You are on the road to stopping relationship comparisons. Most comparisons are unfair. Either the past relationship is going to look good or look bad. Either way, you are doing yourself a big disservice. Why? The past is the past. 9 times out of 10, we imagine the past to be either better or worse than it actually was. Since it is always unfair to compare something that exists to something that does not exist, you are really doing a big disservice to your relationship through your constant comparisons. When you have started to accept your current relationship based on its own merits, you have overcome this long-running habit. You have made quite a bit of a breakthrough. Sign number 3: you stopped making impossible demands on him. Aquarius people live in an idealist emotional world. Unlike a Virgo who is a perfectionist in practical terms, Aquarius people are perfectionists in emotional terms. You have a very high standard as far as relationships are concerned. You have a very refined set of principles as far as emotional involvements are concerned. It is very hard for real people to measure up to those standards. Why? They are based on your imagination. They are based on things that do not exist. Do you see how unfair this all is? Well, if you stop doing that and as a result stop making impossible demands on your partner, then chances are he is the right person for you. Why? There is something about him that made you stop making impossible demands. Sign number 4: he has shown signs he is loyal to your relationship. Loyalty is crucial in any relationship. If you notice that this person is consistently loyal to you, not just in terms of not making love with other people, but emotionally loyal, then this might be the person. Sign number 5. You have begun celebrating his shortcomings as well as his strengths. If you find yourself being thrilled by the imperfections your partner has, then chances are this is the right one for you. Why? Normally, you would be turned off by his imperfections. You would focus on the aspects of his personality that meet your ideal. This is your default position. This is how you normally do things. If you notice you have started celebrating the stuff that he does wrong, this means you have begun to change in the relationship. This is a positive sign because if he is able to change you this way, it means he is the right person to spend the rest of your life with. Sign number 6. You have decided to live in your relationship at the moment. While the worst thing you can do is to live outside of your relationship, people do this all the time. How? They use all sorts of impossible standards and comfort themselves with those standards. They always ask themselves, well, if my relationship reaches a certain point, or he makes a certain change, then I will be happy. You keep feeding yourself these if and then statements. Unfortunately, you never end up giving yourself permission to be happy in your relationship. Once you have reached the point where you have decided to live in your relationship in the moment and savor the moment, you have truly fallen in love, because that is the definition of love. It is all about losing yourself in the moment. It is not about imposing a standard on somebody. It is not about wishing somebody with somebody else. Sign number 7. You have realized that you do not have all the answers. Once you have reached the point where you feel that you no longer have to supply the answers or the model for this relationship, then the relationship has matured to a high level. In fact, the level might be so high that this is it. This is probably your only shot at marrying the right guy that is compatible with you. I am not saying that you will not attract other good-looking or financially independent guys in the future, but when it comes to meeting the right person, this might be your last and best shot. If you have realized that you do not have all the answers, it means that one of the biggest hang-ups you have has been resolved. Thanks to your relationship. If it can transform you this much, what other wonders would it have in store in the future?